Okay, guys, here's where it gets kind of fun. And by fun, I mean kind of a lot. Okay? So, this, what we have here is basically in your notes that I've given you in those day little packets of work, it's it's been split up from this packet. Okay, so notice this says days 2 through 4. Everything I have in this packet, which is a lot, is what we're going to be doing for the next like 3 days. So there's a lot. So obviously, I'm not going to give you this all in one day. We're going to do this over the course of several days. Okay. So notice you only see 1, 2, 3, and 4, or sorry, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, on your first days. So that's what we're doing today. Okay. So I want you guys to realize. Should I show my face? Oh my gosh, should I show my face? Oh my gosh, should I show my face? Oh my god. Okay. Hi. Hope you're all doing well. Okay? Here's the key. This stuff in this packet is the most important thing by far. So if you're going to ever listen and listen to my beautiful face, you're going to do this. Okay? So please take very good care of this. Okay? This is really awkward. I've never looked at a camera like this before. Wow. Okay? So just know it's important. Make sure you're doing this packet. If you do this packet, you're going to be Gucci. Okay. Oh, God. Oh. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. Rectangular prism. Let's do this. I do this in a very specific way. Follow my way and you'll be okay. Okay, here we go. Rectangular prism. So remember in a rectangular prism, okay, it has two bases. In this case, I want you to realize, in this case, it's different every case. I gave you this as the base. Totally cool. So that means this is the other base. Okay? So think about that. Base to base. All right? So before we even start, let's look at this picture, okay? If this is a base and this is the base, like think about this is your like head and this is your feet. Okay, and you're laying down on the ground. Okay? If I asked you where your height was, let's get this out of the way, where the height is. If this is your head and this is your feet, base and base, you should know that this is your height. So just want to get that out of the way so you guys just know. Okay? And remember, the height is what connects the bases. Okay? It's like what connects your head to your toe, your height. Okay? So just make sure you understand that. Okay? So we do this in a very specific way, so make sure you are following the pattern of what we're doing here. Okay? So what we actually do is we find the area of one base. Only one base. That's it. Okay? So what we're actually going to be doing here in this whole entire packet is finding the surface area and then finding the volume. Okay? Surface area is if it's like what's the area of every single side on this polyhedron. Okay? So if you touch top, bottom, front, back, left, right, every single side, what's the surface area? Okay? Volume is like you filling up this with water. So like how much 3D volume is filling this shape. If I fill this up with water, how much water would be filling that up? So just remember, that's what this whole entire packet's about. Surface area and volume. Okay? So we follow a pattern. Okay? The first pattern is what's the area of one base? Well, look what we have. The height of that base is 9 and the base is 4. So 4 times 9 would make that 36. Okay? And that's only one base. Please be careful on this. One base. Okay? That's only that one. That's all we're going to focus on. Okay? So in your total area, when we add up everything, okay, you should know that you have 2 of those 36s. Okay? Because you have 2 bases. Okay? So no need to overcomplicate it. Just find one and then just realize in the total area you're going to end up having 2 of those bases. Okay? So that's the blue that I basically just did up top. Okay? Beautiful. Okay, here's where it gets fun. The lateral area is everything else around it. So notice there's 4 other sides. There's the top and the bottom, which are going to be the same. And then there's the front part and the back part that way. Okay? So I'm going to consider this as two different things. Okay? So think about it. The bottom and the top. So let's do this in pink. Okay? The bottom has a 16 by 4 base and height for just this bottom. Okay? So the top and bottom, there are two of them because it's the top and bottom, and the dimensions are 16 by 4. Okay? So you're accounting for both of them, top and bottom, that's the dimensions, and overall, that's 128. So that's from your top and bottom. Okay? So that's like if we just did this top and this bottom. And pink. Okay? And then last but not least is this front part up here and the back part that we're seeing, right? The part that's facing us and the part that's facing away from us. So the front and back, there's also two of them. But this has different dimensions. If I look at this front blue side here, right? That's 16 by 9, right? Base times height. So there are two 16 by 9 sides in the front and the back. So overall, that multiplies to 288. Okay, awesome. So look what we did now. We already have the area for the two bases, the two shaded original parts. Okay? Then we have to add the 128 from the top and bottom. Then we have to add 288 from the front and back. Okay, and that gives us the total surface area of the whole entire shape. So the total surface area is 488. If I added all that up. So the surface area is 488. Love it. Okay, so we usually don't do this early, but I think it'll be very simple to kind of just connect it right off the bat. Okay, volume. So volume is a different formula than some of this other stuff. So what I want to think you about volume is just if I took the area of the base and I multiplied it by the height of the whole entire shape. Okay? I want you guys to think like if I had, let me just take let me take something cool I have real quick, sorry. So my Marvel movies I have. So look, I got a lot of them on DVD, or sorry, Blu-ray, because they're kind of cool, okay? So volume, think about the shape, okay? You have like one slice, one DVD, which is the best one, okay? You have like one slice, okay? If I added another slice, which added to the height, and 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 it kept just going up and up and up, it would make like a 3D shape. Let me zoom out. It would make a 3D shape with volume, okay? So the idea was that we had the area of a base. Let's say the area of this base was 5. And if we just kept adding onto that and did the area of the base times the amount of height, then we'd have volume, 3D volume. That was corny, so I'm sorry. So there's that, okay? So that's how you know what volume is. Let me put these back. Okay, that was cool. All right, I'm glad I was able to use those for something more than watching them. Okay. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, we're back. We're back in action. Okay, so that's how you know. All right, so the area of the base we knew was 36. So that's like the bottom DVD. And then I multiply by the height. Remember, the height of the shape, if this is the base, it's what connects your feet to your head. So that'd be 16. So the the volume of this thing would be 576. And you could say units cubed, because this is units squared. That'd be cool if you want to do that. If not, you could write 576 and I'd be happy. All right. So that would be our volume. Okay, long process, but promise you it's the best way to go about it. Best way. All right, let's do some more. Next page. Okay, triangular prism. All right, so now think about it. Your base is what's highlighted or what's shaded. That is this. Okay, that is your base. So what we're going to do first is we know the area of this base is half times base times height. Okay, so half times 2.5 times 6. Okay, let's do that. 7.5. Okay, this is only one base. And remember, we do this to help us out with volume in a little bit. Okay, so that's one base. Okay, here's where it gets fun. The lateral area is all the other parts. Okay, so not the triangle in front or the triangle in back. The lateral area is going to be like this part, this rectangle here. I'll highlight that. Okay, it's like that one. It's like the one on the bottom. Okay, and like the one over here. Okay, so hopefully you can visualize this as like a 3D object, but the lateral area is going to be all those other ones. Okay, so the lateral area, let's do the yellow first, because the yellow is the easiest to find. Let's do the yellow. So to find the yellow area, lateral area, that's just 2.5 times 3, which is 7.5. Okay, that's the yellow. Okay, then let's find the orange, because the orange is the second easiest. Okay, the orange, if I look at this little orange rectangle, okay, the height's 6 and this base is 3. So I know 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, there's the orange part. Beautiful. Okay, here's where it gets the worst. The pink one is going to be not as fun to do, because for this pink side here, I know the base of this thing is 3, but the height is what the slant is. So we actually have to do Pythag to find the slant. Okay, let's call this x. So I'm just going to do a little Pythag over here. That's leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. Okay. So x squared equals 42.25. And the square root of 42.25 is 6.5. Oh, that was easy. So that's what that slant height was, 6.5. So this is 3 times 6.5. 3 times 6.5? 19.5. Okay, so that overall is the lateral area. Okay, which if I add that all up, 7.5 plus 18 plus 19.5, it's 45 overall. Okay, beautiful. So think about it. The total area is us taking the area of the bases, both bases, plus the lateral area. So for total area, we have 2 of those 7.5s because we have 2 bases. Okay, there's the triangle up in front that was facing us and the other triangle on the other side over here that we can't really see. Okay, so there's 2 of them. And then we add the lateral area. In this case, I'll just write lateral area. So 15 plus 45, 60. Okay, so that's 60 units squared for the total area. Okay, beautiful. Here's where it gets a little trickier. The volume of this thing is kind of hard to think about, because remember, volume is really the area of a base times its height. Okay, and this is the one that tricks up the most people, okay? Because the area of the base was 7.5. That's why I like making this chart, because this connects directly to here, okay? But the height of this thing is, this is where you gotta be really careful. Let's say that this is our base, because that is our base, the blue triangle, okay? let's say this is like your feet, okay? And your head is this other triangle back here. If you were to connect your feet and your head, this, in this picture, is your height, okay? Because again, that's what connects the bases. It will not always be that hard to see, but you need to just think height is just what connects the bases. Don't think about anything else. Don't think about, oh, it's up top to bottom. No, what connects the two bases? So that's 3. So 7.5 times 3 is 22.5. And that'd be units cubed. All right, so just be really careful about height. Be careful. Be careful. That'd be tough. Okay, so be careful of that. Okay, we got 2 left. 2 left. Let's do this. To the back. Okay, hexagonal prism. Woof. Okay, this is going to be really fun. I can't wait. For hexagonal prism. All right, can't wait to do this. This is going to be so much fun. Let's figure it out. Okay, so surface area volume. Okay, area of a base. So remember, we're finding the area of one base, right? Which is this bottom part, okay? Remember, in this picture, each side's 2. So what that does, and I'll zoom in here so you guys can remember this. This is from our warm-ups, is that every hexagon is made out of 6 of these triangles. So if I think about, okay, here's the triangle I'm going to be focusing on. Okay, in that triangle, all the degrees are 60. And the top one is split into 30, 30 if I make an altitude. So if this is 2, then this is 1, and the height is 1 square root of 3. Okay? The area of a triangle is half times the full base times the full height. So the area of a triangle is 1 square root of 3. That's what the one triangle is. But we have to multiply by 6 because that's how many there are in a hexagon. So the area of the hexagon, which is also the base, is 6 square root of 3. Okay? This will be a question you'll have to know. So just make sure you are okay with this. Okay? It's no different than the ones we've done before, but you're just finding the area of one of the bases, which again, since it's a hexagonal prism, hexagon is the base. Okay? So there's that. So I know my total area, we have 2 of those 6 square root of 3s because we have 2 bases. So keep it organized, keep it fresh, keep it cool like me. Cool. By the way, I don't think I did a minion for today, for this one. This is a big boy. The Hulk. Wow. Look at that base. What is that made of? Gold? Silver? Look at that. That's dope. Okay, that's fire. Okay, cool. Okay, lateral area. The good thing about here in this lateral area is that, look, lateral area is all rectangles in a prism. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those rectangles, okay? Luckily, they're all the same because all these parts are 2 and all the heights are 1. Okay? So there are 6 of these, 6 rectangles, all the same. And there are 6 of these 2 by 1 rectangles. Okay, so overall, the whole lateral area is 12. Okay, and again, just think, lateral area is just all the outside rectangles. So for my total area, we already have the 2 bases, okay? But then we also need to have the 12, which is the lateral area. Okay, so final answer for this would be 12 square root of 3 plus 12. They're different units, right? Because we have square root of 3, so we just have normal number. So this is your units squared, surface area. There you go. Ain't pretty, but that's what the surface area of this thing is. Okay, the volume here is actually crazy easy because for a prism, it's just the area of base times height. Okay, same idea. It's like you taking the flat bottom and then it just goes boo, rises up like the DVDs. The area of the base here is 6 squared of 3. The height, which is what connects the top base to the bottom base, is 1. Okay, so remember, the height is what connects the bases. So the height here is just 1. Don't worry about anything else other than that. Just understand that the height's what connects bases. So the volume is 6 squared root of 3. And that's units cubed. Beautiful. Love it. Cool. Love it. And you could fill that up here. Okay, last but not least for this day, can of beans. Big can of beans guy. Okay, so let's do this. If we look in this picture, right, we know the base is a circle, and there's also a top base, which is a circle, okay? So the area of base, remember, just one base is a circle, so we're going to use pi r squared, okay? In this picture, the diameter is 8, so the radius is 4, okay? So this would be pi of 4 squared, which is 16 pi. Okay, that's your one base. Remember, one base. Okay, in total area, we know we have two bases. So there's 2 of those 16 pi's because we have 2 bases. Okay, easy, right? This is just all last chapter. We know the total area of those, this is that. But the lateral area is where it gets a little tricky. So the lateral area is this curved pink part. Okay, that's the outside part. So the lateral area, remember, that was a rectangle if we unwrap it. Okay, think about if you took like the labeling around a can of beans and opened it up. It's going to look like a rectangle. Okay, so the idea that I want you to get here is that if this was the can of beans, right, in this cylinder, okay, we know that this up and down is the height. So here to here is the height of the can of beans, right? And the height in this thing shows us is 8. So that's not that bad. I know the height. But if you've remembered from the notes, and this is the hardest part to get down, is that if this is your cylinder, right, and we want to find the horizontal distance, okay, this distance from here to here is the circumference. And the reason is, think about it, look at this long distance. That's what wraps and makes the outside of a circle. Think, there's a long distance, it wraps and makes a circle. So this is the circumference. Okay, that's the hardest thing that people just can't happen to get, but you guys are my smartest class, so you guys will be great. So the circumference is 2 times pi times r, which is 8 pi. So the lateral area, right, which happens to be a rectangle, is just base times height. So that's 8 pi times 8, which is 64 pi. Okay, that's your lateral area. All right, so we add this to the total area. So there's 2 bases, which is this, and then we have to add the 64 pi, which is the lateral area. So that's 32 pi plus 64 pi, which is 96 pi units squared. Okay, beautiful. That's the really hard part to get down. But just make sure you're doing the notes, following through. Promise you, you'll be okay on that. All right? And then volume's easy. Volume for a cylinder is the same as the prisms. It's the area of base times height. Okay? Imagine if you just took a bunch of coins and you stacked them on top of each other. I can't find the right coins. Oh, there they are. One sec, let me count my coins. Okay. Think, if you took the area of a base, which is just say like a penny, right? There's your area of base, 16 pi. If I just kept adding 16 pi on top, 16 pi on top, and I keep adding and adding and adding pennies and pennies worth, you get a cylinder. Okay? That's where this idea comes from in volume. It's the same idea as what I did with my DVDs, but it's a little bit different. So the area of base was 16 pi. And the height, remember, is what connects the bases. There's my height, okay? Because it's what connects the bases. Okay, and it's 8. Okay, so be careful on that, because in the other shapes, the height was in different areas, but this one, head and feet, there's your height. So 16 pi times 8, so 16 times 8 is 128 pi, and that's units cubed. Ooh, that was a long one. That was a long video, I'm sorry. Guys, hopefully this makes sense. You could fill this information up here to help you out, but just make sure you understand the basics of how to do the area, right, which we did very systematically to find this here. And the volume for now, for any prism or cylinder, is area of base times height. So no crazy formula, area of base times height. And that will help you out. Okay? Peace out. Enjoy your day. I'll see you soon. Bye.